All right, we have a high enthusiasm coming in for the debut of a brand new segment called Glinny's Cauldron. So here's what's going on. Our witch friend Glinny, she's trying to concoct a most vile video game.
What a callback.
Yeah, and she's trusting us to collect the ingredients. So we're gonna take a trip to the wizard market. Problem is we can only buy one ingredient at a time. So I'm gonna present you with 2 vile video game ingredients, and you have to unanimously pick which one we're gonna take home and throw in the cauldron. So from Quinn Gary, we have pressing the pause button during a cutscene skips the cutscene.
Yeah,
And from Professor Nanaki, there is a deep bass, oh no, every time you die.
That's a good video game component, I think.
Yeah.
Press the
So
start.
we have one ingredient we can choose. It's either pressing the pause button during a cutscene skips the cutscene, or
no.
yeah,
Oh, no.
every time you die.
Oh no, it's too good.
It's too good.
It's too
That's
good.
a good thing.
Yeah,
You'd want in a video
I think if
game.
EZA Plays made a game, we'd put that in.
What if it's hard though? What if that happened in Bloodborne? You die in Bloodborne to a boss, and
As
it goes,
long as
oh,
there's variation, like with Snake, like yeah, go for it.
It's clearly
as long as we got like at least 3.
maybe like the words "oh" and "no" will be it. He might have different intonations.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean.
My perception of it is based on the way that you did the oh no, which was amazing. And so based on that, I can't see myself getting sick of it. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
So Damiani, you agree that pressing pause during a cutscene is the most vile thing we could put in our video game?
Yeah.
I do hate that. I hate that every time.
Yeah.
And there's no going back.
I feel like recently there were a number of games where I pushed pause and it would just pause the cutscene, and then I played one where it didn't, and I was I missed it. I missed that story.
And it's one of those things that you never know until you test it out.
Yep.
So there's always got to be one guinea pig cutscene.
Yeah, and there's so many games who like really just want you to skip the cutscenes. Just like, you can skip this. You can skip this right now on the bottom of the screen. Okay.
I hate those too.
So to Quinn Gary, we will be purchasing the ingredient of pressing the pause button during cutscenes. And Professor Nanaki, sorry, you're not getting our doubloons, but thanks for playing. We must now play Glinny's Cauldron. Jones, you missed this last week. Let me explain everything to you. Our witch friend Glinny, she's asked us to help her make a most vile video game. She trusts us to collect the ingredients. And so it is our job to go to the strange wizard market every week and to buy one ingredient. Unfortunately, we can only purchase one at a time.
Right.
So I present you with 2 options presented by patrons, and we have to
Do you
unanimously.
recap what's already in there?
Yeah, I can do that. I do that at the end of the podcast. I'll recap what we have. No, I'll do it at the beginning of this one. Right now, Blood, the only thing that's in there is that pressing the start button skips a cutscene.
Good.
If you're watching a cutscene, you press start, just skips to the end.
And I was not here last week, but I approve of that decision.
Okay, great. All right, so here's what we have this week. Radioactive Magic is selling the interact button to talk to an NPC is the same button as use consumable item, which is a precious resource. And Cameron Abad is selling, you have a 1% chance to not be able to double jump.
Are we trying to make this bad?
Every time you
Yeah, most vile. You're trying to make the most vile.
1% to double jump.
I don't know.
I'd be so mad.
1% is too small.
That's what I love about
Those
this.
are a lot of successful double
all
jumps.
it takes, Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Think
So
about
it's-
if you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
a really intense boss fight or
gonna be
something
the
that's
jump
been going
that
on
matters.
forever, and it just doesn't work, man. And
That
you
1 in
wait.
100. That
Yeah.
1
I
in
really
100.
like the button prompt thing. That is terrible.
the confirm button being the same as some other awful button is usually pretty terrible.
I mean, you haven't said the third one, so we should. Or is it just
It's
2?
two. It's
Oh,
just
it's just
two.
2.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm kind of inclined to go with the jump, though, because the button with the NPC, you can get good at that. You know, you can, you know what I mean? There is a way, with patience, you can completely eliminate that problem from the game, but that double jump is going to haunt you the whole time.
What do you think? Are you swayed, Blood?
If there's difficult platforming,
Sure,
it's a
I mean,
must, you know?
everyone else pretty hard in on that, so yeah.
Ian, do you agree?
Is there a noise when it goes wrong?
No. You almost think it's your fault.
I'm in, sure.
Okay.
I would love to see Damiani play a game with that.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Cameron. We're throwing it into the cauldron.
I like with this bit, as more things get added to it, the game itself becomes more clear. There's clearly there has to be jumping now. There has to be platforming. I'm assuming it's third person probably, but maybe not.
That's not safe to assume at all.
You don't have a
Cauldron? That's double jumping.
Right?
Oh, an actual thing to throw?
Yeah, you should have it like written on paper with an actual cauldron and throw it in.
There is space right here
Then
in the shot. Yeah.
stir it.
You stir it.
I would. I would gladly stir
Get
it.
some dry ice in there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I just got an IM. Do you know that wizard who hates us? Cahrsurrauher?
Yeah.
Well, apparently he's trying to make his own vile video game. So he bought the oh no on every game over from last week, and he bought the 1% double jump.
What?
No, sorry. He bought the interact button is the same for NPCs as use an item.
He can do that?
Yeah, so he's buying all the stuff that we're not apparently. And
He's buying our trash.
He's making his own vile video
Yeah,
game.
he's buying a grave. That's what he's buying.
I mean, I think the oh no is pretty good. So every time you die, Jones?
No, I watched I cut
goes,
it, okay?
"Oh,
I cut the
no."
podcast. I know. We needed to say it 5 times before we're done with the segment. But he's getting all the he's
So
getting all the
Cahrsurrauher
scraps.
has that.
He's getting the scraps, though, man.
You think those are scraps? I think you made a big mistake.
No.
See,
no.
now, Jones, now there are stakes to throwing stuff in the pot.
I feel confident that we'll pick the best one every week.
Okay.
Yeah, are you getting soft?
You're getting soft.
And not only that, though, it's like a through line through it. Like, we know what's already bad about the game, and so we want to add things that complement that. Where it's just like, he's just picking up all of the extras. It's not going to be cohesive. There's not going to be a message.
I'm scared of Cahrsurrauher. How did you even find my IM screen name?
If philosophical question, if his bad game is not as bad as our bad game, it's worse at being the worst, and does that make it better than ours?
Evil magic users take pride in creating vile things.
Right.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
Have you seen his other games? Evil Pork Rind, Golden Shovel, they're all bad games.
They're
We have
derivative.
nothing to worry about. Yeah.
He's trying to make the most vile game.
Right.
They're derivative, though. Yeah.
Okay. David Doe is selling. The character sprites in the overworld don't look like the character portraits in the menus. Samuel Hall is selling. Spells that inflict status effects virtually never work on bosses.
Oh.
I like the overworld.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Just something about that's like that really bugs me. You know?
Wait, have you can think of a game right now where the overworld sprite doesn't look
Just
like
when like I need the good visual representation of like here's my character like I think of old manuals, like video game manuals.
Yes.
There's really awesome
Oh, it looks
characters
so
in
cool
there.
right there.
Yeah.
And then you're like
game.
playing A Link to the Past. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
You're not talking about A Link to the Past. You're talking about they're talking about the menu.
Yeah, more
and
like an RPG.
You're talking about
Yeah.
every Final Fantasy
It's
game.
like Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy. Yeah, they all do it.
Admittedly, a game
Yeah.
I love. I remember
Yeah.
like going in there and being like, who's that?
You go to that nice status, you get like nice portrait photo, and then you go in the game and it's a sprite. You're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like.
And I think
Okay.
we had like even like a hair color is changing here. Like I think it
Probably.
just does not look like the sprite.
But Tom, I'm not feeling that one at all. You audibly made a noise when they mentioned the boss.
Oh yeah, I hate
Spell's
games
not
where you have
working.
like debuffs and stuff that
Yeah.
don't
It never
assassinate
works
much.
on a boss.
It never works
Yeah.
on a boss. It's
like
just
they
like
can use it to you all day long.
fully
Yeah.
resistant.
Yeah.
Fully
Yeah.
resist. I'm like, why even bother?
Yeah.
It's like, don't even want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, my hat is in that ring for
And
sure.
what I also like about that one, it says virtually. So there's going to be 1 or 2 times where
you would
can
never
poison
know
it. Yeah,
because
exactly.
you've given up by that point.
It's Doom. It's our like level 5 death. It's like spam it 100 times and maybe 1 in 100 times it will proc and
Yeah.
like one shot the boss.
I love that stuff. I just play Dragon Quest 11 a lot, and like
You love when bosses have total immunity to all status
100%.
effects?
But there's so many times, so many bosses in Dragon Quest 11 where like 1 or 2 status effects are really crucial to beating them. It's
Yeah,
awesome
man.
figuring that out.
What if they don't? What if that isn't? That's the thing is, I think boss fights are made fun by debuffs. If you can't poison them or confuse them or put them to sleep or just lower their defense, it's really just doing your rawest,
Yeah.
hardest attacks the whole time.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, Huber. I like it when you have to try and figure out which one will work.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when
yeah.
they just don't work
Yeah,
at
but
all,
is it all
so
of them?
bad.
Like none of them
Virtually.
work.
Virtually, none of
Okay.
them work.
Okay.
Like I like it when you have to like cast reflect on yourself and then you reflect the spell
Oh,
back
baby.
on them.
Oh, baby.
And then it works.
Yes.
Yeah.
sick.
Final Fantasy IX. Fancy trick.
This is a tough one.
I think we're going with that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, you're outvoted, Huber.
Okay,
I think.
cool.
Well, if I got Damian on my side, you with me?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're going.
Not to influence it, but
Samuel Hall, we are buying your ingredient of spells that inflict status effects. Virtually never work on bosses. Thank you. We're tossing that into the cauldron. Okay. Oh no, I got bad news. You know that wizard who hates us, Cahrsurrauher? He just sent me an IM. Apparently, he bought the ingredient that the characters look different on the overworld map than they do in their portrait arts.
so he's got to know when we shoot this podcast.
Yes.
Are we?
He's like got some observers or something. He's got like some
Time
bats,
stone,
you know?
dude.
Yeah.
Time stone.
Yeah.
I like,
Space
like
stone.
can he see us? Can he hear us? Can he see us and hear us?
Most likely, man. Yeah, he just
That's
says
creepy.
he just says yes. He just says yes, I can hear you right now. Like we're dealing with wizard stuff. I kind of want to leave Glinny's cauldron alone, but like I don't want to let Glinny down.
We gotta support Glinny.
We have to support Glinny.
Yeah. Just we haven't been in the studio for so long, or we've only been in here for like weeks, just 2 months, and for something like that to already be set up.
Yeah, like
shocking.
We do like I don't. It's not at like a hex point, right? We're not going to get hexed yet. So I feel okay. I feel comfortable continuing to build this most vile video game.
Oh, it's getting good or bad.
First comes from Stephen Wilbur. The first waterfall you discover has a secret cave, but the following 23 do not. Those are simply waterfalls. Or from Jordan Brown, there is no way to tell how much time you've played.
A lot of games have that.
Yeah, and it
Or
sucks.
don't have that,
If
rather.
I hate
Yeah.
it.
If the first game had an achievement that popped up after you found that said "Don't go chasing waterfalls," I think that'd be great.
Yes. I think that'd be bending the rules a little bit because then you would think I can't check the others.
I couldn't let it go. Sorry.
I think the waterfall thing is better, but I have to imagine that there's got to be something better you could do with the whole concept of waterfalls. Like,
Go on. What do you mean?
I wonder if the twisting the knife is they all look like there's literally shaped like there's the beginnings of a hole.
Right,
It
right.
just dead
Kinda
ends
tell.
immediately. It just
Yes.
goes 5 feet in and then stops.
Yeah.
So they all look like there's a tunnel, every single one of them, but there never is.
How about even like a spinning shiny thing that you can see through the water that vanishes once you go in?
A mirage of a tunnel.
Yes.
Are we allowed to modify? Can we change?
I mean, yeah, there's simply that there's no secret cave behind the other 23, so we can modify for sure.
Oh,
It's
okay,
just
but
an
that first
ingredient.
one has it because that's too much of a gift, I think.
Too much of a
that
gift.
first one, you feel good.
Yes.
And then later you're like, well, this one didn't have it, but that first one was so satisfying. I feel bad even giving them that first one.
No, I think you need to have one there to establish that it could be there. I think that's the whole trick.
You get far enough into the game, you're enjoying it, and then now I'm too far. I have to finish it, but this game's just terrible.
You keep checking. You're
keep
deep
skipping.
in
It
the
actually
game.
needs to be
23.
something really good in that first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then yeah, there are definitely like, let's say, I mean, most multiplayer shooters, I guess, don't say total time you've played.
Red Dead doesn't say total time.
That's annoying, dude. Don't you want to know?
Kyle,
I
it
want
is
to know, but
annoying.
it's just commonplace. It's just,
Every time I play a game,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to how long to beat. I'm gonna see how long it is. Like,
Yes.
I need to know. But I feel like when I can't know, it's just fighting my own worst impulses. It's like, listen, put it down. You don't need to open the internet browser. You don't need to go to how long to beat. Just play the game. And so I think that can be soothing
good
as
thing.
well as annoying.
I kind of only care for the sake of when people ask me when I'm reviewing something. Otherwise, I really don't.
Huh.
I have no idea for some games.
So weird. I take like a sense of pride in an RPG, especially. Just like, oh, here I am, 9 hours in, baby.
I also totally screw that up a lot of the time. I'll just like have the game sit around on pause
I do
while I
that
answer
too.
emails
that
and
bugs
stuff.
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that bugs me.
Yep.
All right, so we got to choose one ingredient. Which one are we picking?
waterfall.
Waterfalls.
Waterfall.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna thank you, Stephen Wilbur. We're gonna toss the waterfall, the first one leading to a secret cave, 23 after, and not leading to nothing. And then Jordan Brown, we're gonna leave you at your cart, your little wizard cart, with not being able to tell how much time you've played. Here's another thing that we have to talk about. Somebody snuck into Glinny's Cauldron.
Again? Oh.
Not Ian. Capcom. What? Yep. Somebody snuck into Glinny's cave, went all the way down the passageways, avoided all the traps, snuck into her cauldron, and took out the ability where if you press start during a cutscene, it automatically skips that cutscene. In Devil May Cry 5.
Oh.
Yeah.
They took it.
Yeah.
They took that from
That's
us.
right. They're getting cocky. That Capcom.
Glinny's mad. She's apparently added more traps, but we've lost that ingredient. We can no longer put that into our vial video game.
Is that agility? You know.
Yeah.
That Capcom has?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even know who
they're
they
all
sent.
agility now.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. I have to believe they will patch that. I can't believe pressing start, which in every other game pauses at a cutscene at this point, skips the whole thing. I mean, I guess you can go to gallery and like watch the
What's
video.
funny
later.
is I was just playing Resident Evil 2, and like I had that moment, like, oh, I gotta pause, and I was like, is it gonna pause? And there you go. Okay,
and
cool.
it did. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, the pause in RE2, it stops the clock too if you're doing a speed run.
That I love. Yes.
That should be on the back of the box. It should be on the PlayStation Store page, the Xbox Store page. Here's what happens when you press start.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Like it shows like how many players you can have. Online
Are we going to start the
functionality,
Twitter account today, Ben? Does pressing start skip the cutscene?
No.
It's a good idea. Time
One
for
Twitter
corrections.
account is enough.
Begin corrections music, please. You know that wizard who hates us, Cahrsurrauher? He went ahead and showed up at that little stand right after us.
You're not even surprised this time.
I'm not, like, honestly, no. And like he's probably stoked that we lost the pause button thing. But he bought the ability to not know how much time you've put into a game. And
Just expect it.
He's going to toss that into his own vial game.
He's not even going to sneak up next time. He's just going to be standing behind us in line.
I think so. And like, at least we get
And
first
who
pick.
are these patrons that are selling to this person? You know what I mean?
No, I don't judge them. I don't judge them. Like we turned it down, right?
Right.
Okay. We had our doubloons. We spent our doubloons, right?
I thought they copied the pause thing. We lost that.
Yeah.
Ooh. I thought it's just in both games.
No.
but-
Capcom came into Glenny's Cauldron and stole that right out of the cauldron.
I want to know
I don't think they
one
understand the
thing.
segment.
What is Konami gonna steal from him?
Yeah.
What's up, Ben?
I want to know one thing from our audience. If you recommended the Easy Allies podcast to a friend, and they sent you a text message or some form of communication that was just something along the lines of, "LOL, dude, what's Glinny's Cauldron?"
Yeah.
or any bit,
Yeah.
or any segment, and how you responded to that.
We have a guide for that. So. Never mind. I was going to come up with a fake URL and like then I'm going to have to do this. We do not have a guide. There's lots of dumb running jokes within Easy Allies. I realize it's hard to penetrate sometimes. To me,
Actually,
though,
I think there might be some forum post somewhere.
I'm listening to a podcast right for the first time and I hear Glinny's Cauldron. I'm so in. I'm like, this is a podcast I've been waiting for. To listeners, Blood shakes his head. This is not the podcast he wants to listen to. Let's play Glinny's Cauldron. This is where we are trying to get ingredients for our witch friend Glinny, who is trying to concoct a most vile video game. And I think I never made this clear. I think it's got to be stuff that like you would still buy it, right? It's not like you press the X button and like
blows up your console.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be like things that we can sneak into a game that people will still go to a store and buy. Here we go. Our two salespeople. First is Barisby. After you get the main villain's HP close to 0, a cutscene plays out in which the villain overpowers your character and takes them captive. Darren Misfud is our other salesperson. Instant death from touching the side of a spike. Not the dangerous points, but the side of the spikes. Which ingredient do we want?
Dude, I want the side of the spike.
I hate side of
I'd be
spikes.
so
I'm
mad.
kind of into side spike, although I really like that first one.
They're both
I would be
good,
so
but
mad.
Side
Spike
spike
is bad.
is max cheese.
Yeah.
It is super. I don't like boss fights you're supposed to lose, and I really like the idea of having to fight the boss down to 1 HP and then getting that cutscene. It's like that cutscene would have happened anyway. Why didn't it happen when I died halfway through?
Yeah. I mean, it is an end state of a boss fight, and you know, 99% is better than, you know, it's as close to 100%. That wouldn't bother me that much. I do hate it when, they give you the illusion of control. And you can tell, and then you just kind of got to, like, go through the motions.
This is something that just popped in my head. I was thinking about this. Do you think a video game could work where, as the boss fight goes on, both people just get more tired and slower? Like in video games, boss fights, they just get more intense and more intense.
That
I
exists.
guess like boxing
this
games.
exists already.
What else?
The end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Kinda, dude. I hear you there.
And any game with fatigue. You know,
Well,
like
Metal Gear Solid 4
you
gets
see your
harder.
character.
Yeah.
You know,
they eventually start slugging out like you're controlling and they're like trying to land punches.
I've definitely died in the 4th phase of that too. It's like, oh, let's do this again.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
what
a tough
if
fight.
Inputs don't work every time.
Okay, so back to Glinny's Cauldron. I was just like, I wonder, like, it's because I think of a fight to the death, and I'm like, what would that actually feel like? And it would not escalate. It would just get worse and sadder, I think. Anyway, back to Glinny's Cauldron. I get the impression we like side spike sides.
Yeah.
We all agree on that? We're buying the side spikes?
Also, if it's 1%, I don't know if you'd notice.
What?
If that 1% versus 0. I don't know if you could really tell that little colored one, however much 1% would take up on the screen.
They just mean like the end of the fight. Like basically like, okay, I'm getting this final boss. I'm blah, 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 blah. Gotcha, dude. And then cutscene's just like, no, I got you.
Right.
Oh, it's still spikes.
Well, what if they awaken a power, like story reason wise? They pull their devil trigger.
You've awakened to power. I'm almost cool with because you would have to.
So
fight,
there's wiggle room.
You would have to take the boss down to that 1%.
There's no wiggle room for side spike.
No side. Okay, Brad, I'm in. Ian, are you in agreement with this?
Yeah, I mean both are terrible.
Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna toss some side spikes into the cauldron, see how that works out. Oh man, I got bad news. Come on. You know that wizard who hates us, Cahrsurrauher? He went into the wizard shop immediately after us, and he bought the thing that wasn't spikes. Oh, the cutscene.
Yeah.
He bought the thing where, like, if we take the buffs down to 0
doesn't bother
HP
me, honestly.
And, like,
Yeah, I don't care if he buys that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like,
I'm gonna buy his game and then text him I'm enjoying it.
The
Be like, this game is great.
Well, here's the thing.
You failed.
He also has, oh no, every time you die.
I will love all of it.
I love that.
Interact button is the same as using a consumable.
I can work around it.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's no way to see how much time you've played.
It's fine.
You still liking that game?
PS4 is gonna let me know at the end of the year. I can
Okay.
go back. They'll give me my stat lineup.
No, it won't. Like, there's no way to see how much time you played that game.
Even Sony can't
Even
track
on
it.
Xbox, yeah, there's just no way to see.
Our game has the cutscene skip thing, right?
We lost it.
We're Devil May
Capcom
Cry?
snuck into Glinny's cave
did.
and they took it out of the
they put it in
cauldron.
Devil May Cry.
They put it into Devil May Cry. I see. Yeah.
Sucks. We
Devil May
lost that
Cry
one.
might do that boss thing too.
Let's not get into any. Let's not. You know what? Here's what our patrons are offering. Facsimile is selling. The game is fully voice acted, but only by one guy. And Chase Kruger is offering. Every loading screen is a bright blank white screen.
Loading screens for
Oh man,
sure.
those
Really?
those are both
Yeah.
fantastic.
Whoa.
Sure.
I think the game being voiced by one guy could be entertaining.
Yeah, there could be some kind of like I'd be proud of that guy. You
Yeah.
know, like that's a tour de force.
Yeah, not to
that guy's gonna get nominated.
not to score some points with Jones here, but you know, Amanda Troop can voice multiple characters and crush it. So
Do you have a pen where I've done those
I,
points? That point total. I'll remember them. I'll remember those points.
Go ahead, Ian.
I was party to this actually. I voice directed AJ in that Schrodinger's cat game, and he was almost all the voices.
You're right. I think he was.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Bubsy 3D is all one woman. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna use our doubloons to buy the loading screen thing.
There's so many bad things about that. There's so many. I mean, obviously it's visually abrasive. No
Yes.
indicator whatsoever of anything that's loading. No tooltips. No like lore. No flavor of the world. No screenshots. Nothing.
And it's like the kind of thing where it's so bright and blaring that even when you look at your phone, you can still sense it right there.
Only if it
So you
like
can't
only if
really-
it clicks. If it fades in, no. It's got to just appear and then click, go away.
Chase Kruger, we're buying. Thank you.
Yep.
There were a lot of submissions about loading screens. That's my favorite.
Okay, good.
Actually, Love and Respect last week was like, hey, if you are in that $5 tier, it's worth it just to read them. Like, there's so many funny ones. I bring like 6 and narrow it down right before we record. There are so many funny ingredients that I have to erase every week. Thank you, Chase. And thank you, Facsimile, for the offer. We're not buying. In regards to Glinny's Cauldron, so it sounds like Activision snuck into Capcom's Cauldron.
Right.
So from Devil May Cry 5, they stole the thing where if you press start, it skips a cutscene in Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
It's still the blueprints because it still isn't DMC5.
Okay, yeah. The recipe.
Yeah.
They stole the recipe. Unbelievable.
The spell.
Speaking of which, I have bad news. Came in during podcast halftime. You know that wizard Cahrsurrauher who hates us?
Yeah, this isn't bad news. This is just news now. This just happens now.
It just like every week it seems like.
Right.
Like he doesn't
seem
stop.
like it's every week, Kyle.
Yeah. Sent me an IM. He says that he's got a new ingredient for his Cauldron.
Okay.
One guy does the voice for every character.
I mean, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that guy.
What IM?
What an
using?
opportunity to be in this game. That's probably going to be the biggest headline coming from this horrible game that he's going to build.
Is the one guy?
Yeah, people are going to be like, it's really bad. There's all these issues with it. But did you hear one guy did all of those voices?
We'll
like,
see.
Wow.
Ben, it's AOL. I'm on AOL. So,
What's your screen name?
First comes from Randy W. Customizable hairstyle, but every selection clips through your weapon and armor. No extra hairstyle does not clip through your weapon and armor. Spencer Pilon presents, there is a minor NPC early on in the game that shares the exact character model as the player. This is never explained or acknowledged by anyone in the game.
Yeah, it's just a question of time, It's just that one guy, you worry about him, and then by the time you're, 40 hours in, you forget.
No.
Where that hair poking through your helmet.
This one tickles me, Jones. There is no way I would forget about that NPC who looked exactly like me.
Especially if you have a creative character.
Yeah.
So you made your own... What?
Yeah. And the dialogue is unchanged.
It's DLC, clearly.
This person's just going to talk like a regular NPC, like, hi, this town is called Ovendale.
Well, it's going to sound like the same guy, right? Wasn't that last week?
Oh, well, if it goes into Cahrsurrauher's Cauldron, yes. It would be voiced by all the same guy, but we don't have
Oh, right, that's right. I'm happy for that voice actor that gets to book that gig.
Right.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with hair.
I hate it. That's what I want most out of next gen is like no clipping, no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ever going to get that.
Why?
I mean, it's just a matter of rendering. Like when you look at the outtakes from like a Pixar movie or whatever, and all the crazy stuff that happens.
Yeah.
When they try to run a render, and like the only reason you don't see that stuff in the movie is because they get every frame, to its perfection.
Yeah.
Whereas a game console is doing that, it'll 30 to 60 times every second. And they don't have time to throw out the bad ones.
I just want to believe in something being able to at one point simulate matter. You could attribute something that says, do not let anything pass through this.
The most depressing one for me is rain. When it's just it's like raining in a lobby of a hotel. And you're like...
Right, but there's a lot of times, if you really pay attention to, what clips and what doesn't clip that, there's a lot of times where clipping through things is good. You don't want that, everything to have collision, so.
I do.
No.
You want those enemies' arms to peek through the wall so you can shoot them.
So are we going with clipping? Damiani, you too? You don't care about this creepy NPC appearing pretty early in the game?
As someone who is very into the glamour is the true end game of a lot of games. Seeing when stuff like
got the MMO player,
especially when you get the ultimate outfits, like end game. You've gotten this great outfit you worked so hard for, and then just no, your hair's clipping through the hilt of the sword, really
the lightning helm in Breath of the Wild. You finally get it after all those quests. You put it on and
Fair enough. Okay. Thank you, Randy W. We're gonna toss that into the Cauldron. Spencer, sorry we couldn't buy it. You know what? You want to do a recap? You want to recap of whatever we got?
Course,
okay.
Always.
So, your customizable hairstyle, every selection clips through your weapon and armor. There's a 1% chance of failing a double jump. Status effects almost never work on bosses. The side of a spike will kill you. Only one of the first 24 waterfalls has a secret behind it. And every loading screen is a bright blank white screen. That's it.
Also, one of the funny things about this hairstyle we're not considering, this means no bald, no buzz cut, no... That's impossible.
Oh, very true, Jones.
So if those are your favorites, sorry, it's got to be long, it's got to be spiky, it's got to stick out in some weird direction.
Yeah, that's a good ingredient. It truly is. I got some bad news.
Damn it.
You know that wizard who hates us, Cahrsurrauher?
Yep.
He goes in.
Sounds like he likes us, to be honest.
Sounds
like he's our biggest fan.
No, Jones, you don't see the words he uses that I cannot repeat on this very podcast. Right. He sneaks into my IMs.
Words hurt.
He got that creepy NPC that looks just like you at the beginning of the game for no reason. And I'm mad about that one because that one creeps me out. Brandon KC is selling a real-time 24-hour day-night cycle and All the shops and merchants are only open for business from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
See, I like that.
I love it. I love this.
I'm waiting for the part where that's best. Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim, baby.
Shenmue, baby.
No. But it matches the time of day today.
Yeah.
That's
so,
what that means.
And you probably can't skip forward.
Real life.
A real life 24-hour cycle.
Oh, okay.
So
Live in it.
you cannot play this game.
Huber, you wouldn't be able to
Outside
play
of
a lot
work
of it
hours.
because you stay up all night.
You gotta find the time.
Wait, I do need specifics though. Wait, is it your time zone or
Real time. Yeah, real time 24-hour day-night cycle. So
oh,
yes,
okay. Is it better or worse if it's like stuck to one? If it was like a Russian developer or something, so it's like on Russia time.
There are Pokemon games that I've told it's different because I wanted to like have more access to things.
Can you cheese it like Calendar Man, where you like set your internal clock?
Yeah,
off?
Animal
You
Crossing
cannot
style.
cheese it.
Okay.
It's online only. Cade Stedman is selling. The final boss of the game is a character first introduced directly prior to the final boss fight.
Oh, please. Yeah. Please. Ding, 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 ding.
It was me. Now let's fight.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so funny.
Isn't that
directly
like,
in front of
isn't that like Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5?
9 gets a little hairy too.
9.
It happens late a lot of times. Yeah, it definitely happens pretty late. The idea,
Or at least the form, you know.
Most
At
of the time,
least,
yes, it's like some
I
ethereal
know
thing
this
that's been there the
character,
whole
but like
time.
once it takes its final form, like
Yes.
I have no attachment to this.
yes, but in this case, this is a whole character who is introduced directly in front of the final boss fight.
Like, yeah, I don't know if we could add more details to it, but it's like I need some kind of fighting style we've never heard of that they just introduced that they're talking about as we're fighting. That you're like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really funny to have a final boss who isn't even familiar with you.
Yeah.
You have so many boss fights where just like, I will defeat you. Now it's like, who are you? And you're just like fighting each other.
One of my favorite final boss fights of all time, Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. You fought. Sorry, spoilers. You fight someone.
What is the third age? That
The RPG. It's the turn-based RPG.
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG.
Cool.
And it was pretty neat, and then just flew off the rails near the end. And like, I don't remember who you fight the second to last boss. It fades to black, fades up, and you're like fighting like Sauron on top of the tower. You're like on the tower fighting the eyeball itself. You're just like, how'd I get here?
Someone brought you there, dude. I want you. I want to fight you.
It was just
right
too
here
good of
by
an
my eye.
idea to worry about actually figuring out how it happened.
Before the movies or after the movies?
I think it was during. I think
It's
you were like
during.
you were like the RPG party that. Oh, you didn't just see them; they were just here. It was that kind of thing.
Sorry, I meant like games development. Was it made before or after the
Oh,
movies?
after the movies.
After, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So we all had a clear idea of what the eye even
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
at that
Yeah,
point. Okay. So we're willing to give up the real-time 24-hour day-night cycle.
Yeah, we'll give it up.
Okay. I mean, there's another wizard who seems to come by the shops immediately after we leave.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we're leaving that on the table. Thank you, Cade Stedman. We're taking the final boss game character appearing right before the final boss fight.
I'm excited about that boss now. I'm looking forward to developing that.
Kyle,
He's gonna have an impact.
Yeah.
I'm more
He's
mad.
not, though. That's the whole point.
I'm more mad you use doubloons for our currency. Like, what is that? That doesn't mix with wizards at all, or witches.
Doubloons is the currency that the wizard shop takes.
You should have thought this through.
It's not rupees. It's not gold. Yeah.
It's doubloons.
How dare you?
Oh shoot! Just got an IM from that wizard who hates us, Cahrsurrauher.
I'm shocked.
They snatched it up.
He snatched it up,
Day-night
man.
cycle.
He's got the 24-hour
You know what the worst part is?
real-time
You
day-night-
know
What?
he snatched it right away. You know we walked away from that booth. We spent our doubloons.
I looked for him as we
And
left.
he waited. He's got eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we leave, and then he buys it immediately, but then waits the whole damn podcast
Yeah.
to then drop it.
You know what? Another ingredient he got that I was thinking about is the voice act. Every single character is voiced by one guy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. That the phrasing is one guy. I think that implies this person is not talented. You know what I mean? It's not like a very good voice actor, because a lot of people are just like, that voice actor could be insane. Like, a lot of people are really good at doing lots of voices. I think when you say all of your voices from one guy,
There's some guy they got.
it's just some guy.
Dude, if there's only like 2 characters in the game, though.
Gotta specify that.
Yeah, we'll
Could
see
be
it.
good.
Like,
That's the
Cahrsurrauher's
trick.
he's
That's
got
why-
a lot of things to
That's why I
fill
need
in.
the details, you know? So we let these things go without specifying.
A lot of people want to see a game jam where like we actually try to get people to make these games, but like I think it's impossible.
What a cruel thing to do.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe in
do it.
dreams. Maybe possible in dreams.
Nope.
Dreams can come true.
Although I do like the idea of just fighting the devs at every turn. They're just like, hey, so I know you said the side of the spikes kills you, but I mean, we serious about that? We actually do it? Like, yes.
Yes.
It's very important.
1% of double jumps will not work.
I mean, you
Figure
can
it out.
slip around the side. Like, no, you need to put a hallway on the side there that if you even get, somewhat close.
Here's what is for sale today. We have some fresh stuff. King Doug 87 is selling that before the menu, a trailer-like video is played which shows one of your party members betraying you. And Mario Orso is selling that the game's soundtrack was written by Nobuo Uematsu, but performed by 4th graders with recorders.
That's probably one of the most detrimental things I've ever seen in that shop.
That's vile.
Yeah.
Recorders the whole time.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I want this game to be vile and everything, but
Too grading, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And the other suggestion comes from the king, and I don't know in this world
Doug.
can we not choose King Doug's statement? I don't know.
I just
Or
want to
Kings of
say,
Many Lands.
don't underestimate kids. Like, they can be immensely talented.
Sure.
Maybe these could be the best recorder players in the world for all we know.
But I
think for it
mean,
to be
as
fair-
developers of this game, though, you have to think like we have to work with these kids, right? We have to get these kids to record this.
Yeah, but I think to be fair to the nature of the suggestion, they have to be average. We have to average all 4th graders together.
Okay.
They can't be atrociously bad and they can't be ridiculously
All
good.
right, well,
It has
then
to
that's
be
doomed.
Like an average group of 4th
All right.
graders with recorders.
It is still one instrument for an entire video game, which is apparently turning into an RPG.
A lot of these are
platforming, but
RPG elements.
yeah, it's
we
an
do
action
platform
RPG
things.
probably.
I'm just imagining like a Final Fantasy Battles theme with the record.
And mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
You just hear like a little peep every once in a while.
I mean, it is truly awful.
But on the other side, this like a lot of RPGs, a lot of games have this. Or maybe they don't do this anymore. Like before the start menu, like this kind of like a flashy. What do you call it? It's not like a tracked mode. It's like your sizzle reel. It's like the sizzle reel for your game.
The second episode of JoJo's intro, the intro for all of season 1, just shows you like episodes 1 through 5.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
oh, okay, cool.
So we're doing that, Jones. We're watching one of our party members betray us in this little sizzle reel.
I almost kind of want to spite Kaz though, because I think he's going to go to the store after us, obviously, and he's going to be like, "Damn it, I heard recorders were here. There was some rumor about recorders. Like they got it." So like, no.
So just to be clear, you're giving Cahrsurrauher a little baby name, and calling him Kaz now?
Is that the whole name?
Cahrsurrauher, yes.
Oh, it's one word.
Yes.
Like share. Okay, I didn't know. I thought Kaz was Kaz, and then Harrar was the. How do you spell that, Kyle?
The comments have not decided how to spell it yet.
Okay,
Maybe
good.
I'll help you out eventually, but
Good,
not
good.
yet. So you're saying you want to sabotage his game with something better?
If we truly want to make this vile, I don't know how we can't choose recorders.
Right.
I don't know how we do that.
I get what you're saying.
I also feel like a lot of JRPGs make it super obvious who's going to betray you. Mm-hmm. And so depending on the design of the character and how they're interacting with you, like it may not even be that much of a surprise to begin with.
Yeah.
And you're also going to get over it like the first time. You'll see it and then be like, oh, well, I know that story bit. And then like you'll ignore it like every other time you like boot up the game. Whereas like, I imagine you being lulled into actually accepting the recorders. Like you kind of like tune it out or like enjoy it. And then it comes back, the anger, you know,
I love it
the
too, Uematsu,
disappointment.
too. This is a good
Oh, yeah.
composition,
And
right?
you're curious the whole time. What did it really sound like? You know, like what? Clearly 4 instruments are trying to be played simultaneously. Is that drums? What is that?
In the reveal trailer for the game, you get this like white text on a black background, Nobuo Uematsu, and then you hear the recorders playing. Oh, that's so good.
You're right. We have no choice. We have
Yeah.
to.
Nobuo is credited, but the kids are not. Just gotta wonder.
Okay. Thank you, Mario. We're buying that. King Doug, sorry. We're going to leave that at the shop. Oh, nuts. Oh. You know Cahrsurrauher?
Who?
Cahrsurrauher.
Okay.
Is that wizard who hates us?
Right.
I'll tell you how to spell it if you're curious sometime. Apparently, yeah, he showed up. And he got that opening cutscene where somebody in your party betrays you. Unbelievable. He's building his own vile game, we have to presume.
But he's stuck with it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean he's stuck with it?
What if he's already written the story and there are no betrayals? Now he's like,
You just toss it into the
gotta write a
cauldron,
betrayal.
I assume. It kind of sorts itself out.
That's how games work.
Yeah. Cauldron games. By
Magic
the way,
games.
some people like said like a game jam is possible. I think we're gonna do it once our game is like sort of resolved itself.
Somebody's got to record those recorders, though.
We're gonna do it.
Oh well, no, we can host it. So Itch.io has like you can host game jams. Like it could be like a month-long thing, and it just has like a system for doing it, and like it's super simple. We can't not do it basically.
Okay, yeah, just as long as we're not the ones programming it, because that's not gonna go.
No, but I was thinking about like what the winner gets. I think we just live stream the winner. Like the winner gets the Tuesday night stream.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's make some choices.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's time for Glinny's Cauldron.
Well, a choice.
We're making one very important choice.
Yeah.
We have a witch friend, Glinny, who's trying to make a most vile video game. She trusts us to pick up the ingredients at the wizard store. We can only buy one item per day. That's just the amount of doubloons we have. Our patrons are selling us objects. Here we go. Alexandra Nilsson Tofse is offering this, okay? L3, clicking that in, enters stealth mode. R3 is a loud, special super attack. But if the character faces the camera, the order is reversed.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Kiraz is selling that the game launches with a cool jetpack mechanic, but doesn't feature anything cool to do with it.
Oh.
Oh.
Dude, I would go. I want the first one.
Yeah, the first one's worse.
The L3 R3 thing, yeah.
So you can fly around, but there's just nothing. There's nothing to find, I guess, or.
I don't think you even get to like fly that much.
The
To me,
game-
like,
It's like a hover. It's like a 1 foot hover.
and I feel like you're chained to something.
You're
you know?
indoors a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
it.
You're indoors and like connected to a chain. Yeah.
The funny thing is, sometimes when we come up with these things, it's like, gosh, imagine that. And it's like, I've played worse games, I gotta be honest. Like, there's some worse games. There's games I've played that would be vastly improved with just a 1 foot tall, jetpack.
It says anything cool. So if you're thinking about something cool with a 1 foot tall jetpack, we have to reduce to that coolness.
Right.
Well, what if it just looks cool?
It could just look
Like-
cool. And you don't have the fuel for
Like
it or
Boba
something.
Fett
Yeah.
had the cool jetpack, but he barely used it.
So true.
And when he did, he looked like a weenie flying around with it.
Yeah, he did. I don't even think Boba Fett has a lot of control over his jetpack.
It didn't seem.
got a
It's got
mind
like
of
the
its
two
own.
side nozzles. Like,
like
there's
Django
no,
went a little more intense with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, break in case of emergency only, that jetpack.
Would Django be able to beat Boba?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Django's cool.
Boba's a child. I'm assuming
I don't know.
there's no indication in the HUD that L3 and R3 have swapped.
Right. It's just
So
visual.
that 50-yard line, the 90-degree angle of like where
They're turning like halfway.
Yeah.
So 90 degrees, if you're looking at their ear,
Yeah.
neither button works.
Okay.
So then when you go to 91 or 89, that's when
But
the switch
I can't see
changes.
visually other than the character.
Yes.
Their position.
Right. You can totally see visually.
This breaks my heart
It's
every
better
week.
than any HUD.
This monstrous video game we're creating.
gonna be good.
That's diabolical. It's hard to beat.
I'm with you guys, whatever you go with. Honestly, I'm not.
I would be so mad.
I could be
just playing
swayed
a
either
game
way.
like that.
Also, just you had me at stealth. I mean, stealth is such a great thing to mess with. You know,
Oh, yeah. That even that we have in L3 is the stealth. Okay.
you spent 45 minutes infiltrating this camp, and just the only time you
Yeah,
hit
you click the
R3
button, he
was
just goes,
that very last time.
So I also feel like the jetpack is during a stealth section too. So you get killed immediately the second you start up the jetpack.
We were talking last week about doing a game jam. It's like we're
Yeah.
getting to the point where like devs are gonna be like, I can't. Like
That's the thing.
That's challenging to make.
It's because I'm trying to like lower them. I'm trying to make them possible for game jam too.
But like you normally think of like really bad game issues,
Yeah.
like kind of correlating with laziness. You know, it's like, well, they didn't put the work and they didn't test it. Like
Yeah.
you got to work real hard to pull that off. I think that's just
Oh, the facing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're picking it.
that
Thank
involves
you.
testing. That bug involves testing.
That's programming, baby.
It's not a bug. I think it's a feature.
It's intentional.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Thank you to Alexandra. We're buying it with our doubloons. I get to announce, by the way, we will learn how to spell Cahrsurrauher at the end of this podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Look forward to that.
We collectively, meaning you as well, will also learn.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, I'm glad I'm not on this every week.
I know, man. The running lore. It's too much.
Oh no. Wouldn't you believe it?
What?
Just as I was about to tell you how I'm going to spell Cahrsurrauher's name right, he I-ams me.
Change his name.
IMs you?
yeah, no,
I-ams me,
yeah.
dude. Here it is.
He's got a camera in the building. It's a whole thing.
C
It's a C.
A H R S U R R A U H
Oh,
E R.
Cool.
that's good. That's good.
Thanks for settling that.
It's intimidating.
And that's not the worst of it. The reason he messaged me is to tell me that he bought the jetpack. That isn't cool.
Of course.
Yeah.
His name, like his actions, he just does no one to stop. A nemesis, if the show has ever had one. Stars.
As I'm going through this, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, why do I think this is funny? Like, what is wrong with me? This is the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. Why?
You watched 30 Rock, right?
Yeah.
The rural juror was hilarious.
Cahrsurrauher is a lot like rural juror. Yeah.
There was one of the cast members on the show. It was I can't remember the actress's name, but she was like, "Oh, I'm in a movie. My movie coming up, The Rural Juror."
Jane Krazowski?
Yes. Most likely.
Yeah.
Very close. She's like, "Oh, I'm in that movie, The Rural Juror," and everyone else is like, "What the hell is she saying?" And it's the rural RURAL juror, like on a jury.
Yeah.
But she would do kind of an accent, the rural juror, and they're like, "What?" And that's again, no laughs at all. But like while I'm watching the show, it's like, why the hell is this so funny?
Yeah.
It's such a good bit, and it went on forever. Like nobody, people, could figure out what the hell she was saying.
Just to be clear, though, if you are confused about what is happening, that is a real wizard who hates us, who is buying the items that we don't buy at the wizard store. Yeah. Just to be clear.
But we're just moving forward now. I think we're strong in our resolve.
You
for
think
our
game is more vile than
I
his?
believe in this game.
Yeah.
I think this game is terrible, and I'm not afraid to say it.
To tell you what's going to happen in the future, because we talked about it turning into a game jam, I think we're going to include a couple more broad ingredients, and then we're going to get particular for a few weeks.
Okay.
Like, hey, we need like a main character, things like that. And then we'll do it. We'll game jam it up. I think give a month. Is a month too short? Should we do like 2 months? Let me know in the comments. Let's begin corrections. Let's just roll right in. Begin correction music, please. No, dude. Before corrections, we got to play Glinny's Cauldron. Rewind. Okay, let's play Glinny's Cauldron. This is where our witch friend Glinny has sent us to the Wizard's Market to buy some vile ingredients for her most vile video game that will toss the ingredients into the cauldron. Our patrons are the people who sell us these ingredients. We apparently have some very vile patrons. In fact, I make the post for all patrons $5 and up. I make this post weekly. It's now become 92% Glinny's Cauldron, and then maybe like 10 submissions for love and respect. It is mostly Glinny stuff. Today we're going into a very specific store. For some reason, these things are highly specific. From G the Finger, redeeming codes found under the cap of participating Mountain Dew beverages unlocks powerful armor covered in Mountain Dew branding. If you abstain from the promotion, your party will occasionally comment about how good a Mountain Dew would taste about right now.
I love this.
From Zatvoon Dude, there's a cutscene where all the characters in your party hear news of a death of an NPC that was mentioned once before in the story, and they all act incredibly devastated even though this character was insignificant.
Also very good.
Which do we want to buy?
I mean, clearly the Mountain Dew is the worst.
Is that clearly the worst?
I think it's hilarious.
I kind of want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
The fact that they comment about it
that's
if
the
you
kicker.
don't use it is
Yeah.
so funny. It
You're
ruins
walking around
your
just
game
like,
either
That's
way.
the home run.
And it interrupts battles sometimes.
Imagine a main character death.
Yes.
Okay, you've been playing the game for 30 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody you really care about dies, and they do that thing, ellipses. I could really go for a Mountain Dew right now.
I'm picturing like in Dragon's Dogma where your pawns just constantly scream the same things over and over. Like, Master, the refreshing taste of Mountain Dew.
When they go,
right
I have
now."
more information about this quest. A Mountain Dew would really help you.
Yeah.
But I also love we'll say we got to give the NPC a name, I think, for this to really truly settle in. Dovis. So if suddenly there's this cutscene where we find out Dovis is dead, and it's 5 minutes long, and everyone has their hands in their heads and just
Telling stories.
Yeah,
of,
just
Dovis.
Why Dovis?
But then you're done. Then after that cutscene, you're over. Whereas Mountain Dew's gonna haunt you the whole
Very
time.
true.
You're literally gonna be prepping, going through your stats for that final battle. You're gonna be looking at the staircase going up to the last boss.
Oh, I
and
got
it's
the
just I can go for a Mountain Dew right now. It's all the way till the very end.
I got the impression that the spirit of the thing meant that it like haunts the characters that Dovus is dead the entire game. Like they're sad about it forever.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say they're sad about Dovus for the whole game.
And like we never met him.
Yeah, and in fact, like when you're up to the final boss, it's like for Dovus.
Right.
For Dovus! And so you can never really get why that, and that's it, right? The final boss does nothing else bad. You just know that he or she killed Dovus at one point.
I learned the dark arts for Dovus. Yeah,
Still,
I think to me that's worse.
Really? The
Like
Dovus thing?
more annoying to
Yes.
me. Yes,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
Right. The bad guy never even talks to you, isn't trying to control any country or anything. All you know about this bad guy is that they at one point killed Dovus. Damiani, I need to hear your opinion on this, man.
I mean, I'm just thinking about this NPC cutscene, and
Yeah.
it also being uninterrupted by Mountain Dew.
You can't
Callbacks.
stack. You can't stack.
No.
You can't buy
The
both.
NPCs will also be like, "Oh, poor Dovus," and by the way, Mountain Dew.
We don't have enough doubloons to buy both ingredients, Damiani.
I think immersion ruining crap like that would be worse to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have two for Mountain Dew. Ian, are you a Mountain Dew as well?
No, I'm NPC.
Oh, which one is immersion breaking?
NPC thing.
The NPC.
It's so stupid. Dovus, like who's
Why would that break your immersion?
Because I don't know anything
These
about them.
people have lives outside of the cutscenes, man. That's
I
totally
didn't get to
immersive.
know them. It's just other characters telling me they're important.
The reason I'm not for
the
Dovus
final
also,
battle?
yeah.
No, that's dumb. I don't want that. At least the Mountain Dew thing I can laugh at.
The Mountain Dew thing is less immersion breaking to you than the Dovus problem.
That is also literally immersion breaking. But
Yes.
the other one is story breaking stupid.
Non-literally.
But I would be wondering if I would be assuming Dovus is more important. Like, we're laughing because we know there's nothing else.
That's
but as
the
a
thing,
player,
Dovus
I
cannot be important.
I don't know.
Dovus is not.
Yeah, Dovus
see,
is trivial. That's the whole point of the thing.
Yes.
But I don't know that as a player.
You
so
do
if Dovus
indeed.
dies,
Yes.
and I'm like, oh, like they're all really affected by that. Okay, there's a cutscene coming that'll explain Dovus.
No,
and it's
early
not
on-
really until the
no,
end of the
it's
game
not
that
go-
I'm gonna know.
No, like you meet Dovus like as just a regular NPC who just says like, the weapons shop is up the hill.
Yeah.
And it says like Dovus above that, right?
Right.
Like it is that quality person, Jones.
I would want it to be such that like they talk about Dovus and worry about Dovus so much that like 90% of the people playing the game are embarrassed. Like they think they missed a cutscene or something, and they're too embarrassed to talk about it with their friends because they don't want people to
Because
think
the number
that
one search on top
they
is like,
missed it.
who was Dovus
Yeah.
on GameFAQs? And it's like
everyone's
a whole
ashamed.
thread of people. Like, was there a quest I missed?
I'm so sad when Dovus died.
Yeah, other people play into it.
YouTube reactions.
I guess we got to pick Dovus at this point.
I guess.
They're both so good.
They're both really
These
good.
are both so good.
I am firmly in the Mountain Dew camp, but Dovus is also pretty funny. I just
Ian?
think I think Dovus can be turned into good, and I know it's easy to laugh at Mountain
Yeah.
Dew, but
Okay.
imagine your favorite game had Mountain Dew.
To me, like
There's some, Brandon, that I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, there's some RPGs I wouldn't put this past either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, Dovus thing is just like an example of really bad writing, whereas to me, Mountain Dew, it's like Link wearing a Nintendo Switch t-shirt, where it's just like, this is destroying the reality of this game. So for me, that's worse, I guess.
All right, so we're 50-50 right now. We need to pick one or else we walk out of the store and probably Cahrsurrauher is going to buy both.
But we're
you don't have a
trying to
vote?
pick the thing that we think is worse, right?
Yes, most
Okay.
vile. We're trying to think of the thing that's most vile.
I guess the one thing I can say against Mountain Dew is like there is kind of a, like imagine you get it. Was it Red Storm? Is that the one? What's the red Mountain Dew?
It's
Red
Code
Storm?
Red.
Red.
man.
Code Red, yeah.
Code Red.
Yeah.
So you get a Code Red and you like type in the code
Gamer
and it's like a
fuel.
red version. And like I would be oddly excited about that. Like there is a part of me that's like
So be it. All
it's
right.
strangely stupid. And fun.
Zatvin, we're buying your thing about the cutscene where everybody's sad about Dovus dying. Thank you for.
Really got to play that up. That you say 5 minutes and like I'm not sure 5 minutes is going to cut it.
Okay,
Like,
they'll have to play it up.
yeah.
Ian, we have added stakes now. We're going to actually host a game. What are they called?
Jams.
Game jam on Itch.io.
Oh my God, yes.
It's going to be a month long, and people can choose whether they want to make Cahrsurrauher's game or
They're going to go
Glinny's
nuts
game.
with
I am
Dovus, man.
thrilled.
They're
about
going to
it.
go
like-
nuts with Dovus.
Like,
Oh my
like
God.
I want there to be some sort of talisman or ritual that like the elf in our camp or some like other race in our camp has some sacred funeral that they can only write that they can only perform once in their lifetime, and they perform that for Dovus. You're like that as a player, then I would be like, what the hell is going on?
Bury their sword. Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Dovis, Troy Baker. Like,
I'm
what did I miss?
I'm thinking of the Mortal Kombat crypt.
Yeah.
And you just spend 15,000 coins and you get like Dovis's headband. And you can't even use it.
Or you spend like 45 real world dollars to resurrect Dovis, and all he says is the weapon shop is up the road. He just puts him back.
Yes. You
That's genius.
You hack the game to bring him back. That's all he says. Yeah.
Oh no. I got bad news. Cahrsurrauher just IM'd me.
He just got off the phone with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he just got the thing. He got the Mountain Dew deal.
Damn it.
He said Code Red apparently part of the package. He's bragging about it, so I guess that's his. You know what? I think next week we'll do 3, because Cahrsurrauher is 1 ahead of us now. I think we should buy 2 out of 3, and then leave 1 at the store.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think it's fair for Cahrsurrauher to have one other ingredient that we don't have.
We got to save up doubloons, though.
Yeah, save our doubloons.
Someone's
belts
gonna.
a little bit
You
this
leave
week.
that on the table. Someone's gonna take it.
Yeah. It's time to play Glinny's Cauldron. This is, of course, a segment in which we select some ingredients for our witch friend Glinny, who's trying to develop a most vile video game. She trusts us to go to the shops and pick the right ones. Our patrons are the people who sell us ingredients. Good news, everybody. Today, Glinny gave us 2 doubloons. So we're going to step inside of 3 shops and pick 2 ingredients.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yes.
Let's calm down here.
Is Glinny crunching? I don't want Glinny to crunch.
Glinny is honestly crunching.
Okay.
And I told her about like what Cahrsurrauher has been saying, and so because she wants to catch up to Cahrsurrauher, yeah, she sold some of her newts, and we have 2 doubloons this week.
Okay. Gotta make them count.
So, from Bobby Wasabi, the ingredient we have to buy is that the game has a hunger meter. Every time your character is hungry, a loud stomach grumbling sound effect will play. The sound effect can drown out important pieces of dialogue or other important sounds.
Yeah.
Don't get hungry.
Don't get hungry. From David Curtis, every time you move off screen, the enemies instantly respawn, Ninja Gaiden NES style. I hate that. Hate that big time. Lastly, from King Doug 87, no buildings can be entered. Anytime you attempt to enter one, your character will say, "It's not the right time for that." So again, that's hunger meter. That's enemies respawning as soon as they're off cam, and it's not the right time for that. You cannot enter any buildings.
I think we're going to run into problems with the enemy thing because our game it's not a side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden style game.
Yeah.
Because we have like the sight of spikes and things like that, that like to me make me think more of 3D. So
What? Spikes are in 2D games?
Yes, yeah.
Spikes were made in 2D games.
But it really does lock it in because imagine a third-person game where you're spinning the camera
Everyone behind
around
you
and
respawns. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the respawning one as much as the others. I think that
the other 2 are also really good.
the other one with the buildings is pretty awful.
Wait, so you're saying it's not bad for enemies to respawn when they're off cam?
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I guess this guy grew up in the NES era.
He did.
Yes, we all did.
I mean, that was a strategy, man. This was a farm, just like hit him, hit him, hit him. All right, I got all the health I need now.
I have been known to farm in a Mega Man game using this method.
Yes.
Yeah, but I like it. Just kind of like it bugs me that like there's no. Like, why are there these many enemies in this? Like, it's completely context breaking. Anytime an enemy respawns just because you moved off cam, makes me so mad, especially when it's just a little bit. It's like, you're back! Ninja Gaiden is hard because of that. I hate it. And you're telling me no big whoop. You're telling me you'd
Is this
rather...
a 2D game? Are we making a 2D game here? What kind of game are we making?
We'll figure it out when we're done, I guess.
We're going to figure that out when we're done.
Kyle's not worried.
This is important, man. Because
Why?
like if a 3D game, it's not. I don't think it'd be as bad with the enemies going.
It'd be way worse.
Then
Yeah.
if
No,
you
it
like,
could
could get around
potentially
it.
be way
Yeah.
and
worse.
you turn again, are you talking about like that, or if
Yes.
you like
Yes.
zone out of something?
No.
No. If you look left after you just killed an enemy and look back right, He's standing upright, dude. He's back.
Okay, then we definitely want that. We don't want that. That's bad.
Right. I think that's a good ingredient.
It's bad in like a really sloppy way, though. You know what I mean? It's like if you really want to disappoint, if you want to break somebody's spirit, you know, you don't annoy them, you don't come at them all the time. You wait. You know, you slowly, grind them down, and that's why that's what I always go for. These things that like, the double jump, we have that right, where it just doesn't work.
Yeah, the waterfalls. I get what you mean.
These things are just waiting to trip you up in the game, whereas that's just all over the place and so annoying. I don't know.
My other thing is pair again with what I was talking about farming. Like if you pair that with the hunger meter, it can kind of deflate the use of the hunger meter because you can just farm for either gold or food by just keep killing enemies in one spot over and over, and then you never hear you get yourself get hungry.
But what if they don't drop items or food? What if we program not to give you any of that?
I don't know.
That is, to me, perfectly reasoned. Like, we can't have both of those ingredients in the same game because Blood's right. You would farm the meat. Oh, my God. That Blood, it's so funny that you had that foresight. I kind of feel like you're right, man. I'm with you. Brad, are you convinced? Are you convinced that the things we should buy are can't enter buildings, which we haven't really discussed yet, but I think we all agree is awful, and also the grumbling?
There needs to also, I mean, if we're going to talk about like what we're going to design on top of these horrible things, there need to be doorways all over the place.
To restaurants.
Constant
not only
doorways.
That, there needs to be like a big temple with a huge arch, which is just wide open, and you can't cross the threshold.
Yeah. And like a bakery with a window that says free food. And you just can't.
Lots of like opening soon signs and stuff.
About the building one, I'm just picturing like our level just being the first stage from Rondo of Blood with the town on fire. Like we don't need to go in those buildings. We don't want to go in those buildings.
You're going to want to go in these buildings.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to go in a building, Jones, with fire going.
Yeah.
But what if your character also says it's not time for that?
Great. Because it's never time for that. Don't go in burning buildings.
It's not the right time for that. Excuse me. I want to get that quote right. So, Brad, are you not sold, man? We have to be unanimous for us to spend our doubloons.
I don't know, dude. These all suck.
That's the
They're
idea.
all good picks, I know. The hunger meter is really funny to me.
Yeah,
because I know we would crank that thing. Like, you get hungry fast in our game.
Sure. So, Bobby Wasabi, we're giving you one doubloon.
Okay.
But, Brad, the thing is, I think we cannot combine the off-screen enemies with the hunger
with,
meter.
like, you on here who love, like, bathrooms and interiors. Yeah,
Yes.
I think we have to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so, King Doug, we're taking the not being able to enter a building. Thank you to everybody who offered us some ingredients. Oh, God. I just got an IM from you-know-who. Cahrsurrauher. And
these IMs are always perfectly timed.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
I know he's got a microphone.
He does this
It's the only
on
way.
purpose.
It's the only way you can do it.
Or some sort of, wizard magic.
He's like, and that's how you go to patreon.com/EZA return.
Yeah. He says that he saved us, we saved him 2 doubloons. Because he's so confident that getting the people to respawn once they're off camera was the right one to pick.
I could see, not necessarily speed runs, but I could see like hard mode streams going where the camera's just constantly spinning and they just want more and more enemies, I could see people turning that into a plus.
Dude, power leveling.
I think this is going to be a great game that he's making, and it's going to infuriate him.
The other thing is, like, to me, it can't be overtly bad. Like, if you get horrible, horrible reviews, no one's going to play you, and then you can't affect as many people.
Yes.
You're trying to make a vile game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Not necessarily just bad. And so maybe we are just making his game just bad with those respawns. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm a little excited about that. If you are a viewer, you may notice we have a green desk today.
Oh.
That's to celebrate.
Wow.
Yeah, that's to celebrate Jordy's Dino. If you've seen the sticker on my laptop, it matches perfectly. This is very intentional.
Gotcha.
It is not another Easy Allies problem. Let's play Glinny's Cauldron.
Speaking of Glinny.
This is where we have to buy some ingredients for Glinny, who is our witch friend. She is rich as well, from what I understand. Very wealthy. Dang. She is looking for ingredients for a vile video game. She doesn't know a lot about video games, so she trusts us to pick up the ingredients. We go to the wizard stores and we spend 1 doubloon. Okay. That's all we can afford to buy one ingredient. So,
let's hear it.
These are our patrons offering ingredients, by the way. Our first ingredient comes from Matthew Pauling. You have an extremely annoying small sidekick who will, in particular, randomly trip you over, giggle, and say, "Don't mind me." And despite having no likable characteristics, everyone in the game, your character included, loves this piece of trash. Suggested name? Sleazer.
Oh, I was gonna say Lalafell.
Okay.
What is Lalafell?
The little short things in Final Fantasy 14 everyone hates.
Oh, well, imagine there's just one named
Yeah,
Sleazer.
that's plenty.
You have a,
That's plenty.
Okay. From Lost Rob, another ingredient. The lore of the world is that the main character can fast travel, but your companions cannot. When you fast travel, all your companions have to traverse the world manually, and their pathing mechanics only work so well. About 95% of the time, they can path back to you if you sleep at an inn for the night, or if you fast travel from the road, but only 50-50 if you travel from a dungeon. All other times, they get stuck somewhere.
No.
That one.
No.
That one's way worse.
When you just try and guide someone like downstairs in a game, they'll get caught on a corner. That is the worst.
Yeah. And if you lose them, do you have to go find them then?
They don't have to go fast travel back to their spot.
Yeah.
Retrace their steps.
Can we have like a StarCraft thing where you can just pan the camera over and then click on them and tell them to go?
I mean, that's
can we add that at least? So, like Pikmin does that.
Yeah.
Like Pikmin. No, you have to go by foot in Pikmin. Yeah, you know what? I think you have to find them by foot.
Okay.
And then you gotta escort them as well.
Yes.
It's brutal.
That is truly brutal. Like even just like 95% is not good enough for pathing.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough.
And Sleazer, was it?
Yeah.
There's always a chance that you end up liking Sleazer.
There's not, dude.
There is.
You're going to trip over Sleazer in crucial moments.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, Sleazer, you know?
No.
Or you trip over them and they save your life.
What?
You're about to walk. You thought you were gonna make a good decision. You're walking ahead. You trip over them. They laugh. You're angry.
Yep.
But then you look ahead like, oh, that would have been a terrible mistake.
I cannot believe you two are supporting Sleazer right now.
Somebody shoots an arrow at you and Sleazer trips you.
I don't want to hear a Sleazer defense.
You're about to rush into it like you think is unarmed enemy, and they really got like a +20 like legendary weapon. You've got like a gray weapon. It's like, no, just saved your life right there. Thanks.
No, Sleazer's bad.
I already like Sleazer.
Stop it.
We just dislike Sleazer. That's it. We just dislike them. They can be useful though. You can dislike something and they be useful. This is totally possible.
Jones is going to be so mad, but it sounds like we're buying the mostly accurate, but sometimes not.
What are you talking
fast
about?
travel.
He's a GoldenEye fan. He probably played his Odd Job all the time. He's used to going around and doing that. Come on.
I don't doubt it. Jones is not above doing Odd Job.
Well, this is a sidekick, so maybe he's angry at people doing it to him.
Lost Rob, thank you for your ingredient. Oh, by the way, next week is the final week of open submissions for Glinny's Cauldron. Then we're going to start taking like particular ingredients. Like, okay, we need a name for this, or we need a particular type of this. But this was like, we're getting toward the end of the ingredients right now.
Oh.
It's exciting.
It is.
I have really bad news.
Uh-oh.
Do you know Cahrsurrauher, that wizard that hates us?
I hate that.
How do you spell that?
I have the spelling. Do you actually want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a random nasty letter.
Cahrsurrauher. Cahrsurrauher.
That double R gets me.
Yeah, that's where you always mess it up, right?
Yeah, the double R.
Too many characters can't fit it in.
Guess what he is adding to his own little cauldron? Sleazer.
That's right.
Sleazer's awesome.
No, Sleazer's not awesome.
Sleazer is helping us out.
You will rue this day.
Sleazer's helping the
You
cause.
are not going to like Sleazer.
It's a little potato. We're throwing it into the cauldron.
No, it's
gonna
an
cook.
awful potato.
It's a little potato.
Ugh. I'm so, like, Sleazer, do you know what the things he will do with Sleazer? Our first one comes from Zeno. You can only input up to 4 lowercase letters for you and your party's names. But the default presets are all clearly over that limit while also being horrible names.
Okay.
Y2 Kyle 89 is selling that every town has a mandatory bad anime hot spring scene. And if you don't know what that would mean, Jones, as a non-anime fan, this would imply that every town that we go to, the party splits up. The men and the women, they split up to go be in the hot springs.
Oh, okay.
But eventually someone's going to peak. That's going to happen every time you go to a new town.
Dude,
someone's going to peak.
I love
This is
it.
a bad thing?
I love anime shaming Brandon for no reason. It's like, we're the weirdos about it.
Yeah. No, and not just Jones. For everybody at home,
Yeah.
I assume a lot of people hear bad anime hot spring scene and have no idea what that would mean. Yeah.
I mean, now that we've said that out loud, I have a
Yes.
feeling that even if we don't pick that and then do this game jam, people are going to put that scene in the game anyway.
They should.
But every
Right.
town,
That'd be hilarious.
Every single town, even like Endgame.
That's what makes it funny. All right, we're gonna go fight this ancient evil, but first,
Should be like a long pause too. They come in just like, oh wow, oh look at that stand over there, cool. I'm like, well, one town doesn't have springs, so they just go into some guy's like bathroom or something, you know, like
man,
no, we
to
don't
be a
have
hot
springs.
spring.
Are you sure?
As long as it's like there's a separation, there's a wall, and somebody peeks.
What
I'm
if there's
okay
like a
with that.
haunted hot spring or something like
Haunted
that?
hot spring sounds so cool, dude.
Yeah.
So wait, so there wasn't a hot springs in Dragon Quest XI because it worked well in the story and brought more to that world. They were obligated to do that, Ben?
it's a thing, Brandon.
Wait, so
Yeah.
there was a hot spring scene in Dragon Quest XI?
It's a whole hot springs town. Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
okay,
it's like
so-
by the volcano, and they have
Does somebody peek?
It's in the contract.
There's no peeking. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember any peeking. Maybe I was playing it wrong. I could have missed it.
I wasn't like looking out for the peeking.
They're giving it a cutscene.
like goes to bed
Yeah,
for
like,
it.
I get a text message from Brandon. Hey, was there any peeking? I might have missed that. Do you have to do something special?
I gotta play it again now. I gotta be sure.
Okay, so I'm at a loss here whether we want to pick this or not.
Yes,
We
yes.
do want to pick
I
this?
want it because of the theming of the hot springs. Could be
Yes.
sweet.
Okay, all right.
I'm always a fan for the persistence rather than something you have to deal with once and then move on. You're gonna forget about that name thing by the time you're done with the
Are you
campaign.
really? If your character has like a dumb name or a little 4-character name?
There's not as much as you like surviving that really tough boss fight, and then you get to the last town you haven't been to, and just like, oh, it sucks that one character died, that we lost them, you know. Anyway, let's head over to the hot springs.
And someone still peeks.
Yep.
They've reached their emotional climax,
Like-
but then there's still like some weird horn dog.
The
He said he was
20th,
weeping
the
while he
20th
peeks.
time you do it, and you hear the line like, "Oh, it's so nice to get away from the boys." Oh,
Yusuke!
Baka!
Okay.
I want more towns. We have to have at least 20 towns now.
Y2 Kyle, we took the
Yeah,
bait.
that's awful.
We're buying your ingredient.
We're trying to make awful games, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And to be clear, we are going to do a game jam. We're going to do 2 more weeks of Glinny's Cauldron, but there'll be categories the next 2 weeks. And then after that, after we've picked that final ingredient, the game jam will begin. We'll have a month to make either Cahrsurrauher's game or Glinny's game, and then we'll judge them. The community will judge them, and then the winners will get streamed. We'll play them. Cool.
Cool.
Cool. And I have to be honest, the way I was picking ingredients toward the end, once we decided to do the game jam, I was like, could we do that in a game jam? You know what I mean? I was like trying
Last
to like,
week's was brutal. I don't even remember what it was last week, but I remember thinking at the time when I was cutting the podcast, like, ooh, that is a challenge for a developer to
Yes.
actually put that in there.
Kyle,
Yikes.
yeah.
if you ever really get lost for opening segments for this podcast, you explaining anime tropes to Brandon would be very funny.
Ben, that could be its own podcast.
It could be. That could be its own
Dude,
podcast.
School trip for the next one?
Yeah. Tsundere. Let's do corrections. Begin corrections music, please. So, Ben, you are in the Huber seat, so you and I are going to have to draft. Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Complications.
No, I just got an IM for Cahrsurrauher.
Oh, what? I thought you blocked them.
He keeps finding a way. He like makes up a new username.
Dude, we need to IP ban him.
So he says he's excited to have the 4 lowercase letters in his game. He's like really pumped about that.
I'm going all caps and I'm not looking back in his game. I don't care.
You can't.
I think you can't use lowercase.
You're forced into lowercase.
Do you think Cahrsurrauher
okay,
uses,
it's fine. That's fine.
uses a Zune and like tells everybody about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very hipster. Very proud of that. You know.
I actually had a friend that used a Zune. And I was like, I didn't know anyone that had a Zune except him.
Okay. How long did that person use the Zune for?
Years.
Years?
And I was just like, it was like,
Was it a matter of pride?
I think it was like a mistake and they knew it. But that's just what they had. They were just doing with the best of what they had.
Okay. You know what? Yes. I had like a Sony mini disc player that was kept around for way too long. Yeah. I had a Juke for my cell phone that I kept on for too long. Like, I get that. I absolutely get that. Yes! We made it! This is the penultimate episode for Glinny's Cauldron. We only have 2 more items to toss into the Cauldron this week because Glinny's just about to put the lid on the Cauldron. It's time for marketing.
Uh-oh.
Our patrons are selling this week the slogan for Glinny's game.
Okay.
Recently, Rage 2 had what was it? Full or open world insanity was their slogan.
Sure.
Team Sonic Racing is gear up, team up, speed up. So we need to do worse than that. We can't just be equal to those bad slogans. We need to be more vile, a most vile video game.
Okay.
All right, so we're in the market. Cell Armor is selling. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons. Our game. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. But Sinjin Bourget is offering Hurt Me Daddy.
Okay, all right now. All right now.
All right, Pander. Okay.
Is this gonna be 2-1?
Because I was looking for the 3-worders too. Like I hate a 3-word slogan.
Is that like hurt period?
It's not. But that's gonna be the end of the Hurt Me Daddy. Pre-order now. You know what I should do? To be fair, I should do the other one in the voice too. Get ready to explode your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons.
Well, I definitely hate both of them.
Yes, yes, that's good.
Like many conflicts, there's like many times we've done this. There's the one I know is the worst, and then the one I should pick because it's probably the more appropriate.
There's one that's just dumb and one that's just really bad.
Yeah.
Which one is vile?
Ooh.
Which of these is vile?
I don't want to say the right answer to that question.
What's the right answer?
The first one, I think.
Oh, you think the
okay, yeah, I'm with blood. Yeah, the first one.
Exploding your balls into a firestorm of dust and skeletons?
Super vile.
That's like Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Very vile, that first one.
So you're willing to let Hurt Me Daddy go?
If we have to, we have to.
We don't have to. Cahrsurrauher is going to get it. He's going to get whatever we don't buy. I know it.
I'll give him that one. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can take that.
I'm happy with that trade.
All right.
That works.
Cell Armor, thank you. We are buying Get Ready to Explode Your Balls into a Firestorm of Dust and Skeletons. Dust and Skeletons, pardon me.
Right.
I will deal with next week. We'll talk about all the final ingredients and then the details for the game jam. Until then, good luck, everybody, with what's happening next week. Anyway, people who listen to this podcast, you might be interested to know that if you give the Easy Eyes $5 or more a month, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get it on Wednesdays instead of Fridays.
Gotta get in those Glinny ingredients.
Yeah, you can also
ASAP.
submit the final Glinny ingredient, whatever that will. Oh, my God. Just got an IM. As if I'm not trying to host a podcast. Cahrsurrauher's here IMing me. Bing, bing. Like, all right, dude.
All right.
Guess what he's got? He's got Hurt Me Daddy. I can't believe you let him have it.
What if the slogan's like bigger than the title? That's the largest text on the box, you know? He's got to correct people at like game jams, you know? Just like, no, it's not called Hurt Me Daddy. It's called something else.
He knows he won. He's saying he won because we let him have Hurt Me Daddy.
He's always going to say he won.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Before we talk about E3 at all, it's time for our final Glinny's Cauldron segment.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We have, Ben, you have the honor of choosing the final ingredient in the cauldron.
Dang.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, our witch friend Glinny doesn't know a lot about video games, but she wants to make a most vile video game. So she trusts us to pick the ingredients. So what we do is we go to the wizard shops and we buy ingredients from our patrons who have submitted ingredients to us. This week, our final week, Glinny's been, she doesn't know a lot about video games. I don't know how she saw this, but she saw the Death Stranding trailer from last week. She saw that trailer and she says, I need that.
Did she see it or did she experience it?
She experienced it.
Okay.
I think Death Stranding is a thing witches know about.
Yeah, I have to think there's some overlap there. Yes.
He was dabbling some dark arts.
Consultant.
Like, there's no way.
Before you get into this, let me tell you about the Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So she saw that and she says, I need a celebrity likeness in my vile video game. So what the patrons are selling us this week are celebrity likenesses and the names of the character that the celebrity will play.
I don't know if you can come up with better names than Kojima already has for his own characters.
That's what's funny is like reading through the entries, you can't parodize it. You can't make
Yeah,
fun.
right.
It's impossible.
There's like Hartman and Headman and Hoodman.
Die Hardman.
That's it. Like you can't
Done.
do better than that.
You can't do it. What is funny is also patrons knew this is the last week. So in addition to the names, a lot of people tried to like do lore on top of it. It's just like this person is this person who also is this. And when you run into that person, this happens. It's like, no. Name a name, please. Here we go. Okay. From Michael Brigham. Ian McKellen as the Randy Old Man.
That's a great game.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah,
There's nothing vile about that.
It
That's
is.
I think it's misusing it to me. You know what I mean? It's like Patrick Stewart as Poop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Randy
Ian McKellen
Old Man
would-
is not on the same league as
Ian
the
McKellen
Poop,
would
though.
love that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That would
would lead.
brighten his day getting
Yeah.
that call
Great-
from his agent.
I
Great
agree.
comedy.
I
Okay.
agree.
All right.
Oh.
From Morgan Mahala, Justin Bieber as Squealin' Shay Higgins.
Now we're talking.
And I gotta say, like, I don't love Bieber jokes, but I love Squealin' Shay Higgins. What is that?
I just it's like a pig, right? Like he's so annoying.
Yeah.
He must have
Pig.
some pig-like attributes.
Yeah.
And so this is a likeness, right? Like we're putting this person's likeness into this game. And maybe it's just like Guillermo, right? Where it's not like he's even doing the voice. It's just like they just photogrammed him and he's in there. Which celebrity are we picking for our vile video game?
Between those two, my goodness. Come on.
What?
Bieber clearly wins by
Yeah.
landslide.
Oh, Screaming Shay Higgins?
Squealing Shay Higgins, yeah.
I'm squealing for Bieber at this point.
I'm bummed
Bieber.
that you didn't come up with that name, Kyle.
Squealing Shay Higgins?
Yeah.
Me too, man. Me
really
too. So, Ben, do you agree we're just going to buy Squealing Shay Higgins? This was a home run?
I mean, when I think about it, it makes me uncomfortable. So that's a good sign.
Okay. All right. I really thought we'd go the other way with Ian McKellen. To me, it's just like, oh, Ian, no. Like, yes, and then no. But we're fine with him being the Randy Old Man.
I think he's fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Because he's going to be up, like, he's going to be nominated. Ian McKellen is going to be nominated for Best Actor at the Game Awards in 2019. And Cahrsurrauher is going to be pissed.
Kyle.
Cahrsurrauher's going to be like, no, don't you get it?
I want it. It's supposed to be vile.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
producer. It's like, he's bad. And
Yeah.
Let me sell you
Just
on
love
this
Ian McKellen.
just very quickly. Okay? Just picture a close-up of Ian McKellen.
Okay.
And he's in some interview. It doesn't matter what it is. And the interviewer goes, so tell me about this new role. And Ian McKellen just curls his lip up a little bit and he goes, oh, you mean the Randy Old Man?
Now, I'm going to throw this back at you. All three of you, I'm going to throw this back at you because it's just his likeness. You're going to have to see Ian McKellen with some other person doing a voice that he thinks Ian McKellen would sound like.
An Ian McKellen impersonator?
Or just like some voice. Like, oh, I'm playing the Randy Old... I'm doing the voice, but with Ian McKellen's likeness.
But for Squealing Shay Higgins, someone is going to put on it has potential to be vile.
You're right. That's just simply
Yeah,
vile.
why
You
wouldn't
know?
it be his voice?
Oh, it's like Guillermo del Toro is not going to be his voice in Death Stranding.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Same with Refn.
The other
Guillermo's
director.
is going to be really weird, though.
It's got to be weird. It's got to be... It won't match no matter what.
No.
Yeah, it is going to be
That's so
weird.
It's going to take
Yeah.
me out of it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, because it's like a one-to-one likeness. It's not even like, oh, it's kind of like him. That's him. That's what we're doing with Ian McKellen, but we're buying it. We're buying it. Morgan, we're buying it.
Okay.
We're sealing the cauldron shut. Anyway, here is what is in Glinny's cauldron. Pressing the pause button during a cutscene skips the cutscene. Actually, that got taken out by Capcom. We lost that one. Do not put that in your game. You have a 1% chance to not be able to do a double jump. Spells that inflict status effects virtually never work on bosses. The first waterfall you discover has a secret cave, but the following 23 do not. Instant death from touching the side of a spike. Not the dangerous points, but the side of the spikes. Every loading screen is a bright blank white screen.
Love that.
Me too. Customizable hairstyle, but every selection clips through your weapon and armor. The final boss of the game is a character first introduced directly prior to the final boss fight. The game's soundtrack was written by Nobuo Uematsu, but performed by fourth graders with recorders. L3 is entering stealth mode, while R3 is a super loud special attack. But if the character faces the camera, the order is reversed. There's a cutscene where all the characters in your party hear news of a death of an NPC that was mentioned once before in the story. They all act incredibly devastated, even though this character was insignificant. You may name this character Dovis. The game has a hunger meter. Every time your character is hungry, a loud stomach grumbling sound effect will play. The sound effect can drown out important pieces of dialogue or other important sounds. No buildings can be entered. Anytime you attempt to enter one, your character says it's not the right time for that. The lore of the world is that the main character can fast travel, but your companions cannot. When you fast travel, all your companions have to traverse the world manually, and their pathing mechanics only work so well. About 95% of the time, they can path back to you if you sleep at an inn for the night if you fast travel from a road, but only 50-50 if you travel from a dungeon. All other times, they will get stuck somewhere. Every town has a mandatory bad anime hot spring scene. The slogan is "Get ready to explode your balls in a firestorm of dust and skeletons," and the celebrity likeness is Justin Bieber playing the role of Squealin' Shay Higgins. Cahrsurrauher's game, my favorite. Deep bass. Oh no. Every time you die. The interact button to talk to an NPC is the same button as a use consumable item, which is a precious resource. The character sprites in the overworld don't look like the character portraits in the menu. Not having a way to tell how much time you've played. After you get the main villain's HP close to 0, a cutscene plays out in which the villain overpowers your character and takes them captive. The game is fully voice acted, but only by one guy. A real-time, 24-hour day-night cycle, and all shops and merchants are only open for business from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Before the menu, a trailer-like video is played which shows one of your party members betraying you. The game launches with a cool jetpack mechanic, but doesn't feature anything cool to do with it. This one's my favorite. There's a minor NPC early on in the game that shares the exact character model as the player. This is never explained or acknowledged by anyone in the game. I can't believe we let Cahrsurrauher have this one. Redeeming codes found under the cap of participating Mountain Dew beverages unlocks powerful armor covered in Mountain Dew branding. If you abstain from the promotion, your party will occasionally comment about how good a Mountain Dew would taste about right now. Every time you move off screen, the enemies instantly respawn Ninja Gaiden NES style. You have an extremely annoying small sidekick who will, in particular, randomly trip you over and giggle and say, "Don't mind me." And despite having no likable characteristics, everyone in the game, your character included, loves this piece of trash. Suggested name, Sleazer. You can input up to 4 lowercase letters for your party members' names, but the default presets are all clearly over that limit, while also being horrible names. The slogan is "Hurt Me Daddy." Oh no. It's got an I am from Cahrsurrauher. He went ahead and bought that celebrity likeness we didn't buy.
Yeah.
So in Cahrsurrauher's game, you will see the likeness of Ian McKellen as the randy old man. Woo!